All right, I think we're live. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to Elysium Weekend of Darkness. This is our news dispatch. I'm Scott Gaeta, president and publisher at Renegade Game Studios, and joining me today is Elisa Teague, our senior producer for role-playing games, and Matt Holland, our marketing and program manager for tabletop games. How are you two doing today?
Really well. Can't wait to
Absolutely
talk about
great.
vampire stuff.
All right. Both of these two have lots of information to share with you. I mean, they're just bursting at the seams to tell you all the secrets. So why don't we jump right into it? We're going to start off with Matt. Matt is going to give us a sneak peek into what's coming up for Vampire Rivals, our expandable card game.
Yes, so we just announced the first expansion formally and started taking pre-orders, last week or so?
Yeah.
And we're going to tease a couple of cards and give you a taste of what you're going to see in Blood and Alchemy when you get the Thin Bloods and the Tremere on the table. So we can throw, people can see that picture, right? We can throw the art up here. As I said, the Blood and Alchemy introduces Tremere and Thin Bloods, two new clans that have kind of their own thing. Thin Bloods are going to be your smaller, less powerful, but very numerous vampires, and they actually get a lot of their abilities and powers by mixing chemicals and things into their blood. And there's going to be some alchemy in the game now, which kind of references that and translates that into game mechanics. Meanwhile, the Tremere are all about blood rituals and blood sorcery. They're going to have some pretty interesting effects and ways they can mess with what the opponents are doing, including like putting their own blood onto some of the opponent's characters and then doing some nasty things with that. So today I'm just going to show you two cards from each, the leader from the pre-constructed deck and one kind of card that's representative of what these different clans do. But if you join us tomorrow for the Rivals panel, Matt Hyra and I have a whole slate of spoilers. So there's a lot more to come from Blood and Alchemy and Rivals in general. But let's show off Jacob Frost here. Jacob is our Thin Blood leader in Blood and Alchemy. He's a 3 blood potency vampire. So that's really low for a leader compared to the 4 clans we saw in the core set. Those were all 5s and 6s. But as I said, Thin Bloods, they're all about that low blood potency. So a lot of 1s, 2s, and occasionally a 3 in there. And as you can see, Jacob's got a pretty neat ability that is going to play off that weak but numerous mechanic that the Thin Bloods have, where he gets additional damage for every 2 characters in the party. So he's rolling around with 3 friends, he's going to be doing 2 additional damage, which is pretty darn respectable. I think that's kind of a cool mechanic, a way to incentivize playing some of these smaller and, I don't want to say weedier vampires, but they're not as maybe scary as somebody like Bruno Wagner or Hydra. And the next card will actually be a Thin Blood Alchemy card. So this is an example of what these Thin Bloods are all about. Anathor Corporis is going to be attached to the character that uses the action to play this. And for the first time in the game so far, this is going to give you an additional action on your turn. So you'll spend the action, exhaust your vampire, and attach this to them. And if it's a Thin Blood, they'll gain that action back. So you effectively get a 50% increase in what you can do on your turn, which is pretty significant and can be quite helpful. Worth noting, doesn't have to be played on a Thin Blood, but if it's not a Thin Blood, you don't get that extra action. This particular example gives you the +1 physical stat or physical attribute, and then also gives you the Thin Blood Alchemy discipline. So that's going to tie into other cards in this expansion. It's going to give you some options and make your attacks a little bit nastier. So that's kind of what the Thin Bloods are all about. It's a faction I'm pretty excited to mess around with, and I'm really excited to show off a lot of other spoilers tomorrow with Matt Hyra.
Okay.
But Thin Bloods are not all you get in this box. We've got some Tremere too. So let's see Sonia Valentine, who is the Tremere leader. So Sonia is a little bit more traditionally statted for a leader. 6 blood potency. She's got that second discipline there. That's the blood sorcery discipline. It's a Tremere sort of specialty. And at the start of your turn, she allows you to replace a blood on the target in the streets with one of your own color from the general supply. And I don't know, Scott, can you think of why you might want to do that, or what's interesting about being able to do that?
I don't know, Matt. I think you're going to tell us.
Well, what's kind of cool is you can then spend that blood on other characters to fuel your rituals and fuel some of your cards.
Ah,
So it's a way to do indirect damage, essentially. You replace their blood with your own, spend that blood for an effect, you get this nice effect, and you're doing some chip damage on the enemy. Can't kill them, because one of the core rules of the game is that you cannot spend your last prestige or blood in order to pay a cost.
mhm.
But you can do a lot of damage and just kind of keep the pressure on them while also helping out yourself. So
Okay.
pretty neat little mechanic there, I think. And if you go to the next card here, this is actually one of the rituals that could be used like that. So Extinguish Vitae allows you to remove all blood of your color from target character. So use Sonia over a couple turns, replace most of a vampire's blood, and then boom, it just evaporates thanks to a card like this. And the Tremere are going to have a lot of options along those lines, ways to put pressure without actually having to go into the streets and fight like your Bruja or some of your other clans. So pretty exciting to see what's coming there. This pack is going to have 2 full pre-constructed decks, just like we had the precons in the core set. It's got a 30-card crypt pack to help you customize those. And of course, you can mix all that together with the core set cards and just change up your plan and the meta as we go into people actually getting to play this game at tournaments, which, spoiler alert, information coming on that in a little bit.
Coming very soon.
Yes, very soon.
So tell our audience, right? We might have some people that aren't familiar with Rivals or even card games in general.
Oh,
so,
sure.
So what kind of play experience is Rivals?
Yes, Rivals is a head-to-head card game. It's a expandable card game, so it's not your collectible card game model where you open random booster packs. When you buy that Rivals box, you get all the cards right there. When you buy Blood and Alchemy, you get all the cards there. It makes it very easy to keep up to date and make sure you have all the same tools as anybody you're playing with. You'll build your deck, or you can play those pre-constructed decks that come in the box and go and play either head-to-head or with 2 or 3 additional players. You can play and battle it out, in this case in San Francisco. We have a deck of cards that represents the events that are happening there in San Francisco, the people you might meet in San Francisco, and you're battling it out to just control that city. You can win by eliminating your opponents, in the more brutal fashion. You can win by just kind of running out their influence and their prestige, or you can win by just elevating your own agenda and advancing your own goals far enough to be the victor there. And this is going to be fully playable in a tournament setting. You can play at your kitchen table, anything like that. And we're going to be having tournaments and support for that sort of thing if you want to go and play at a store or at Gen Con.
Right. So you can, if your style is more in your face, direct damage, you can
That's
go
Bruja.
after. Right. Exactly. But if you're more of the political, subversive, I'm behind the scenes, I'm going to get you player, there's definitely a lot in there. That's the way I like to play. I like everybody else to beat each other up, and then at the end to kind of go, surprise, here we are.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the great things about it. All the clans really come through, and their flavor and the way that clan is portrayed in the World of Darkness in general comes through really well in the game and lets you play it in a very different way and win in different manners too.
Yeah. And then, so when an expansion comes out, those cards can be mixed with all the other sets, even though they might come with pre-made decks to get people started. And then the crit pack is additional cards.
Yep. So the pre-made decks in there are a real godsend for people who are maybe intimidated by the idea of taking, a couple hundred cards and picking out the ones I want to play with, the 40 or 60 cards that I want to make my deck. The precons, great for that kind of person. Somebody who wants to dig in, though, you can mix your vampires and your cards from any of the Vampire Rivals products together and customize a deck that you like. You might like Thin Bloods and Bruja and have a little bit of both in there. You could even have Thin Bloods, Bruja, and some Toreador. It's really up to you, and you can go as deep as you want into customization.
Okay, awesome. And then how often should we expect new cards to enter the play pool?
going to have somewhere in the order of once a quarter, occasionally a little bit more often, especially here as we ramp up into the game getting started. With the base game being a little delayed, we've got a lot of content on the way and ready. Actually, Matt Hyra on a recent Vampire Wednesday stream said they're playtesting the 4th expansion. So we've got a lot of content coming down the pipeline, adding clans, adding options, and a lot more fun stuff that we'll talk about soon.
Awesome. That's great. So somebody in chat mentioned that they'd like to see a new city deck in Atlanta, please. So make note of that. And what's interesting is they use the airport code for Atlanta, and I could recognize it because I spend way too much time in planes. So, so there you go.
I will say that new cities and things not off the table in terms of expansion content. So
that is true. There are plans, lots and lots of plans. All right. Well, thanks for giving us a little bit of insight into what's coming for Rivals. And we're going to talk again in just a little bit because I know you have things to tell us about organized play and events and conventions for Rivals and for role-playing games. But next, let's go to Elisa, because I think there's a lot of people in the stream that want to know what is coming up for the role-playing game. What's going on? Like, what is going on, Elisa? It's been quiet. There hasn't been a lot of new stuff for 5th edition, and I think that's about to change.
It definitely is about to change. I have a long list of things to talk about today, and I am excited about every single one of them. We have so much Vampire the Masquerade RPG news for all of you players watching, including information about reprints and brand new books and game accessories coming your way. So hang on tight. We're going to go for a ride right now. First thing is we are at Renegade Game Studios reprinting the Vampire 5th edition core rulebook. And it is going to contain all of the errata, including the errata that is found in the Vampire Companion that was released digitally last December. And now you can have all of the updated rules all in one book, all in one place. And that is coming to you very soon. And you can actually pre-order your copy today on the Renegade Games website, but it will be in stores very soon. It is on its way. And I'm very happy to say that it is on its way. And in addition to that, we are also reprinting both Camarilla and Anarch. And those will also have all of the latest updates. And again, those are out for pre-order and they will hit retail stores very, very soon. And then later in the year, we are going to be reprinting both Chicago by Night and Cult of the Blood Gods. So if you missed out on those and you want those in high quality hardcover books, just like these 3 first books, we will be putting those out and you'll be able to find them in game stores everywhere. So that is for anybody who doesn't already have those books or want the latest updated versions of them. That is what you'll be able to get pretty much right away, very soon at least, as part of the core collection of books.
Right, and we should note too, so Cult of the Blood Gods and Chicago by Night, those were developed by our friends over at Onyx Path Publishing. Yep, and those books are still currently available. There's limited quantities left and they're going to continue to sell those, but once they're out of stock, and we'll be picking that up and putting them back into distribution. So stores everywhere can get them. I think Cult of the Blood Gods right now is available direct from them, but it's not fully into distribution. So if you're in an area where maybe it's harder to get books or you don't have a good mail order source, stay tuned. We'll have that in print and it'll go out into wide English distribution so stores everywhere can get it.
That's right.
That's right.
And so then, in addition to all of this good stuff, what better way to play at the table than with custom Vampire 5th edition dice. So this fall, we are putting out our own dice sets that will include the 13 black Vampire D10s, all with custom faces, and 5 blood red Hunger D10s with all of the icons on it. And when I say blood red, let me tell you, family, everybody watching, I have nearly bled my own blood to make these dice the blood is red dice. It has been blood, sweat, and tears of mine to get the coolest looking dice for you. And those are coming out this fall. They're going to have like really rich black symbology on them on the red, and they look super cool. And I am so excited that those are coming out too. Just bring a whole new experience to the table.
Yeah, I have to back her up. So these factories at this point, I think might hate us just a little bit. We are running them through the ringer. Yeah, like
just send us every color of red you have, please.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I have so many red dice samples. Everybody watch, like, seriously, I'm like, nope, this isn't blood enough. This isn't red enough. This is too orange. This is too pink. This is too brown. I'm very picky, and I'm picky for you.
That's right. Yeah. I would say that you're a dice snob. That's how I would, yes, you're a dice snob, which is not a bad thing at all. I think it's a good thing. Yeah, she would get in these dice and look at them, and they're pretty blood red, and she'd be like, not enough. No,
not bloody enough for me. So I definitely fought for that, and they are coming. I'm very happy about it. And yeah, so everybody, you know, you're like, okay, this is all stuff that's standard stuff. We know you're doing the reprints. We know all this stuff. Well, now we're going to talk about all of the new stuff. So we did make this announcement, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. We have brand new books, and the first one coming out is the Sabbat, the Black Hand source book that is coming out this August. It's available for pre-order on our web store, and you know, for those of you watching that are newer to Vampire the Masquerade, Sabbat is the sect of the kindred that venerates Cain, right? Cain is their dark father, and this book is going to represent and tell all players and storytellers about what it means to be part of the Sabbat. It is a book of antagonists, and it's going to help you flesh out your stories with details about the Sabbat, about the ongoing Gehenna War with the Camarilla and their allies. And it's going to talk about, you know, the Sabbat are a cult-like sect, right? And so it's going to give all the bloody details of their secrets and their rituals, the hatred of the antediluvians, and all of their, you know, Nodist beliefs. And we are very excited. This book was developed by Paradox, and we're putting this out, and we are really, really excited about it. And the cool thing about Sabbat is it leads me to another really big announcement. This one has not been spoken about before. And so naturally, when I'm going to talk about the Sabbat, I'm going to talk about something that is very, very important to them. Because, you know, they look to Cain as the father of all vampires, and one of their most sacred texts is the Book of Nod. And there may be a little bit of spoiler because we're talking about the Book of Nod tomorrow, but what the announcement is that we are going to be reprinting the Book of Nod as it was originally published in the 90s. And it is so cool. It is, so a little bit about it. The Book of Nod is an oral history. It's been transmitted through story and art for centuries, basically. And it was reassembled by different kindred scholars, and it was all put together by Aristotle de Laurent and sent to a mysterious publishing house, and they printed it in the 90s. And I have the 90s version right here. And we are going to be reprinting it just the way that it was, but with higher quality paper and really cool silver edging just like this, and really rich black text so you can really read all of the material in there. We put a lot of love and care into making sure that you can use this book alongside your Sabbat book, because they really do go hand in hand. And we're going to be talking about that a lot tomorrow in our panel, my panel with Justin Achille, how to use the Book of Nod. And so I'm really excited about this. You all might be saying, okay, that's just another reprint. I know, just another reprint that has been out of print for many, many years. But you're right, it is just another reprint. So what if I told you?
Wait, Elisa, you can't tell them this. Really? Did we get this approved?
Yeah, we got this approved.
Oh, we can tell them? Okay.
Oh, no, I'm telling them. Well, approved or not, I'm going to be like Scott right now. No, it's been approved.
Chat demands it. I think you need to tell them.
Chat is demanding this.
They promise they won't tell
Then I
anybody.
have to tell them because I built this up so much. If I built it up this much, I have to tell them what it is.
That's true.
Right now, I think right now, or just after this segment, this is going to be available. We are doing a limited edition Book of Nod Deluxe Artifact Edition. This is going to be limited to 500 copies only. And it is going to arrive at your doorstep in a massive crate filled with antiquity style mythic texts, tablets, journals, all of the actual things that Aristotle de Laurent traveled around the world for centuries, collecting, interviewing people and writing it down in his journal, taking photographs of different things in museums that he couldn't get things out of, or different sites that they were doing archaeology digs at. He put that all together, and we are recreating these artifact style props all in this one big crate for you to use at your table. You can use it in your game. You can pick up pieces of it as little clues to the little things. You can use it in your LARPs. It is going to be amazing. And I think we also have a close-up picture of the scroll, maybe not, that's featured in that first picture to show what it's going to be. If we don't have it, you will be able to see it on our website. And that is, I think, available for pre-order now.
Right this second.
Or just right after this this segment ends. So it is limited to 500 copies. And so if you are a collector or a vampire enthusiast, this is definitely a must-have. I am so thrilled about it. So again, tomorrow, I will be talking to Justin Achille from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time, and which is much later for him. And we're going to be talking about how to use both the regular print copy or this special deluxe version in your game, what it means to use it alongside of the Sabbat book, and how to just enrich your stories and your storytelling with its incredible, prop piece of lore. So that is one big announcement.
Yep, that's pretty good. Chat is blowing up. So there's definitely a lot of people that are excited about this. So there's a few people that are asking about international, and I know international shipping is not up and running yet on our website. Don't worry, international people, we will take care of you. We are not going to let you get shut out of something like this.
I can also confirm that we are not putting every single one of them up for sale this very second because we don't have international shipping ready. So
exactly,
we are leaving it so there are some that will be saved.
Right.
Or we have that fixed.
That's right. And I will also say too, right, the intent here is to put out something that's super high end, limited, but not to the point where people are sad. If for some reason this just goes crazy and there's demand for more, we'll have a conversation with you and with us internally, and we can make adjustments, right? Like, we don't want people to get shut out. On the other hand, this is super high end. This isn't something that we can just make on it as a speculative thing and print crazy amounts of and hope that it does well. So keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye on it. This is totally unprecedented, so we'll see how it does. You let us know if this is something you want, right? And we're gonna look at it and we'll make a judgment call. But don't worry, international people, you are near and dear to my heart. We were working on Europe. We were getting all that sorted out. Warehouse in the UK, warehouse in Amsterdam. Europe is gonna be covered. We're working on Canada. The rest of the world is a little tougher, but we ship everywhere. We will get you taken care of. We understand World of Darkness is a global community. Even though we are the English publisher, we know that there are fans all over the world. So don't worry, we'll take care of you. Don't flip out. I won't let it happen. I travel too much around the world. I have too many friends all around the world. I can't afford to not take care of my international friends. I wouldn't be able to travel anymore. It would be tough. So we're really happy that everybody here is excited about this. We're going to work really hard. We're going to make factories cry. Like there's no way this is getting out until we're absolutely perfectly happy with the quality and the production values of this. Somebody I saw in chat mentioned, like, do I get the rock that's in there? I think they saw the tablet. Yes,
Yes, you do.
you get the tablet. So that's the plan. We've already been working on this for several months, but there's still more work to be done. So as this progresses, Elisa will be showing you, things as they come in and as different materials and everything else. But trust me, the way she ran them through the ringer on just simple dice, like this thing's going to be absolutely amazing, and we're going to make some people cry on the back
This
end.
parchment isn't ancient enough.
That's right. More ancient. Make it more
I
ancient.
pity the factory rep that has to deal with her
I
for
will
this.
say the factory that we are working with is so great, and they've already been throwing ideas to us, and this is really a collaborative effort because it is unprecedented. Like this is a really cool piece. This isn't your typical role-playing book at all. So it's been a really cool experience so far, and we are going to deliver something really cool.
And now that things are loosening up and hopefully the world is turned the corner and we're getting a little back to normal, this is the type of project, like we actually go to the factories in China and visit as things are, we in the past do that on a regular basis. So don't worry, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll share stuff, but that's not it. Like that
want more?
That was pretty awesome, but we have more to talk about, and I think we should just do it. So
I do have more. I have a lot more to talk about. So
yeah.
Should we talk about the next book? Because
I think we should.
I love this art piece. I think it's pretty awesome.
Another book. Oh, okay. So here we go. So hidden in the shadows of government agencies, the whispers in religious sects, and behind proxies of clandestine hackers, there are covert operations out to get you. This is the time of the Second Inquisition. And yes, that's right. Our next book is going to be The Second Inquisition, a source book that will bring all new bad baddies, the baddest monsters of them all, the humans that are out to get us. And it is going to be a really cool supplement that is going to outline in detail all of the factions and secret agencies and resources that vampire and other hunters around the globe use to infiltrate your coteries and get in and kill you. So this guide is going to provide a wealth of information to you, everything you need to know about these new antagonists. They're not so new antagonists, but with dozens and dozens of already built examples that will provide storytellers with tons of assets for richer storytelling, a great role-playing experience. And I am going to be talking about it more tomorrow in the creator panel with Khaldun Khalil and Kat Evans. They are two of the awesome authors on this book, and we are going to be talking about it in detail tomorrow. And I am really excited. Now, back-to-back Antagonist source books, we are bringing the baddest of the bad, as I said, and we are going to be basically pushing forward into your stories some real conflict now. And I think that's really good because we haven't had that. We've had all of these books about how to make a character and how to run a game, but not really much on the way of, okay, now the true villains come out. Yep. So that's pretty exciting news too.
So we have the cover up, and this is Mark Kelly, correct?
This is Mark Kelly. This is the cover art. This book is coming out later this fall, and so we can't show you the actual full book cover yet, but this is going to be the art on the cover. We thought we'd give you a little sneak preview. And Mark is doing a lot of the art in the book, actually, because he's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So let's recap real quick. So we have reprints of the existing books. So that's taken care of, done deal. Some of them are on the way. Others will be coming soon, be reprinted as needed. And then we have Sabbat in September. Is that around September-ish?
Yes.
August, September.
Late August.
Yeah. Don't hold us to dates.
The world is nuts right now, so
the world is a mess. Yeah. But then when is Second Inquisition expected?
Second Inquisition is expected in November.
Okay.
And yeah, so late fall, just in time for your holiday gifts to all of your fellow players, something to kill them dead.
That's right. All right. And then reprint of Book of Nod is also this year.
Yep. It's already being done. The artifact, though, the artifact edition is going to probably be early next year.
Okay. All right. So that kind of pretty much covers us for this year. And then we also just made an announcement yesterday, I think?
Yesterday.
Tell us about that. What's going on over at Roll20?
So we are now partnering up with Roll20, and we are going to bring all of these books to the platform so that you can use those online tools to tell stories using their VTT. And it will have player tokens, lore sheet handouts, and every single game aid that you need. They're working on the dice roller right now. I think that trivia is going to be showing that off after this panel.
I believe so. Yeah.
I believe that's next. And trivia is going to be showing off some of those features. And it looks so cool. And you can go over to Roll20 and pre-order those sets. Now, we have a very special thing for everybody watching. You'll be able to get, the core rule book, and you'll be able to get Camarilla and Anarch and everything else. But we're putting together a special bundle package that if you order all 3 of those particular books, you will get the Storyteller's Toolkit for free. And the Storyteller's Toolkit is exactly what it sounds like. It's a Storyteller's resource pack. That is generally a 32-page booklet that will be sold separately with handouts and all the rest, but you'll be able to get that for free if you order the bundle. So you can go over to Roll20 today. I believe that's already up and ready to go for pre-orders. And you can go ahead and grab that if your preferred play is on Roll20, not on the table. And honestly, I know I'm in some games where we play at the table and with Roll20 at the same time. Nice. So it's really cool to have those because you can pass secret notes. There's so much you can do in Roll20. Yeah. That's really, really cool. And especially since I think over the last year, a lot of us have become accustomed to playing games over the internet because, there's been a pandemic and we've been stuck inside. And so now it's this thing where it's like, it's pretty cool to be able to play over the internet. Even if you have a local group, now you can open up that group to people that live across the country or across the world. And so Roll20 really makes things so easy and wonderful and beautiful with all of the artwork that we're going to be including. And it's going to be really cool. Yeah. And
it's nice. Yeah, I'd have to say, like Roll20, the coolest thing about playing on a platform like that is I get to play with people that I normally would never get to play with, right? It's just not physically possible. So it's been really fun. I dove into Roll20 during the pandemic, of course. So, and yeah, I'm a convert. I love it. So awesome. Check it out. Somebody posted in chat that we may have crashed their site because they're going over there and it's not coming up. Oh, well, sorry, Roll20. I'm sure they're very sad. So that kind of gets us through this year, which is a good amount of stuff. We've been working really, really hard. We came on board with Paradox last year. We didn't really announce ourselves to the world, at least for the RPG, until maybe, 4 or 5 months ago. But we've been working hard. When we announced things were already full steam ahead. We were working a lot behind the scenes. Rivals was, of course, even earlier than that. But that gets us through this year. we have a full schedule for next year. We have a lot planned, but we can't tell you all everything. We actually can't tell you anything except for maybe give you one little taste of what's to come.
Oh, Scott, you are the worst because you always want us to tell more that we're not supposed to tell.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a reputation to uphold. If we didn't actually do something that made Sarah Erickson, our VP of marketing, upset, it would not be a successful news show. So let's do it.
Give the people what they want. And
Yeah.
I'm excited about this stuff as a person who's never played Vampire the Masquerade myself. To put it mildly, it can be intimidating. Like there's a lot of backstory, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah's in chat saying, "Don't do it, Scott." It's like, yeah, like that's gonna help. So
Sorry, Sarah, I'm doing it. Look, he's my boss. He's telling me to say it. I'm going to say it. We have coming out early next year, the Vampire 5th edition starter set. And so this is going to be a perfect jumping off platform for newer players, that if you want to learn the rules of the game and you have been, like Matt said, if you have been intimidated, looking at these books and saying, oh, I don't know where to begin. This book, it's actually a set, this entire kit is going to teach you how to play the game while experiencing your first night as a vampire just after the embrace, right? And so you will go step by step through everything you would learn as if you were actually experiencing it for yourself as your character. And it will teach you in a different style than the core rulebook does. And we have a lot of player aids and storyteller aids in there for brand new storytellers as well, so that you can learn how to play the game in an easier way. It's going to have pre-generated characters, and I'm going to save a little bit. So stay tuned for all of our announcements, because we have really cool announcements about the pre-generated characters, and they may tie into some things. That's my only little trickle of whatever. And it's going to be really cool. So it's great for those of you watching that may be Rivals players but have never played the RPG. It's great for, or not played neither of them. It's great for those of you watching who have friends that you've been trying to get to play your game, and they just, they're nervous about it, and they just feel like they need an easier way in. This is a great product for you, and you can just welcome more and more people into the family.
It's also great if you're a new marketing person in a company that publishes Vampire, and you get asked a lot of questions that you need to go to wikis for or ask Elisa things.
That's right.
Yes, it's perfect for you. We'll get you playing, Matt. Don't worry. That will be remedied.
That's right. We'll start a company game. Don't worry. All right, so lots of stuff planned. That's just a little sneak peek of what's coming up next year. And I do want to make sure everybody understands. So our goal when we were brought on board isn't just to kind of business as usual, put out books. We want to grow the community. We want to bring in more players. We want it to be easy for you to find players in your communities and give you the tools that you need to bring new people in. So you're going to see a nice mix of things that are for players and storytellers of all skill levels, not only with the things that we release into the market, but also with the content that we put online. So that's a big goal for us. So not only will we be doing like our show that's premiering tonight, streaming show, we also have plans to do other shows that are targeted more towards new storytellers and new players. So there'll be a nice mix, and hopefully with your feedback, we can make that stuff even better. So as this process continues and we all get to know each other, and you're seeing what we're putting out and you're giving us feedback, we listen a lot. We're very involved with the communities of our games, and we want to hear what you have to say, and we're taking notes furiously, and we're working with the Paradox team, and there's a lot of love and care that's going into this. So hopefully you love what we're doing, and we can just continue to up the bar and put out more and more stuff that's just fun for everybody, right? Because that's really what it's all about. We all love what we do. We all love playing games. So hopefully we can work together as a community to just keep going, keep upping the bar, and maybe 2 or 3 years from now, we'll look back on the Book of Nod Deluxe set and the next thing that we're working on will just blow that out of the water. So
I mean, I already do have a plan.
I know. All right, that's all we can really spoil, I think, as far as stuff now. But it's a lot, and we want to let you know too, it's spaced out. We're not going to drop everything on you at once. And also, our goal is to also keep things in print. We don't want to have a core book or a source book come out that we know that everybody wants and it disappears and then you can't get it. We are aggressive reprinters here at Renegade. We want our products and our games to be available to the people that want them. So we will work very hard to make sure that you can get it so you don't have to feel like you have to get it all at once. All right, so that's a lot of stuff, but what can we do with that stuff? The world is starting to open back up. Conventions are actually looking like they're a real thing. So Matt, we're going to Gen Con. Renegade is going to Gen Con.
We're going to Gen Con. So saved the date recently.
That's right. So what are our plans for Gen Con for our World of Darkness family?
Absolutely. Well, a big thing that I have been working a lot on and I'm very, very excited for when it comes to Gen Con is Prince of the City. So Prince of the City is our sort of premier Vampire Rivals tournament series. It's going to be at your big events, at your Gen Con, at your PAX Unplugged, at events similar to that. And that's going to be a place to go and really compete and get that sort of higher level experience and also higher level prizes. So first one at Gen Con, we've officially announced it. It's entered into the Gen Con system. It's going to be taking place on Friday and Saturday. So Friday will be our preliminary rounds, Saturday top cut. This is going to be a four-player game, so multiplayer tournament. You're going to have to build your deck ready for anything, ready for people showing up with the same leader, ready for people showing up with all the different strategies in these first two vampire products, because we should have Blood and Alchemy out and legal by then. And we're going to be showing off some prizes for Prince of the City tomorrow on the Rivals stream. But I'm super excited to see this game played at a high level in person. I really enjoyed watching people play on Tabletopia in our Season 0 League, which was just a couple weeks ago. But it's in person, it's just a lot more exciting and a lot easier to see what's going on and watch the meta sort of develop and crystallize.
So I would say, so one thing I've learned about Matt since he joined the company is that Matt likes cool prize stuff. Like he likes, it's not just like, hey, let's give you a promo card. Yeah, don't worry, Rivals players, you're gonna get promo cards that are cool and special. But Matt likes swag. Like he likes stuff. He likes lifestyle things that the players would like to have. Like he's come up with some pretty cool stuff. Like when we did the Vampire Rivals League, online to kind of like as a little playtest thing. But where Elisa makes factories cry about the dice not being blood red enough, Matt pushes them to their limits with, I want this cool thing that my players are going to carry around with them all the time and show off and be really proud to have. So he's got some really neat stuff in store. I won't take away his thunder, but tune in for his panel tomorrow because I think he has stuff to show you.
We're gonna show off some of the prizes that we'll actually be giving out, and we'll be kind of giving you a rough breakdown of what you can expect. But I can tell you, if you're a new player and you're nervous about going to a big event like this, I'm going to make sure that anybody who shows up goes home with cool swag. So you could show up, lose every game, spend your time at the bottom tables, make some great friends, get some cool swag, and have a great time.
Yeah.
In addition to that Prince of the City event, we're going to have side events too. So Prince of the City is multiplayer. Thursday, we're going to have a special pre-release event, a limited size, 1v1, and your first opportunity to play an upcoming Vampire Rivals expansion. So definitely don't miss that if you want to be the first to kind of see what's next. Maybe we'll get some teases about that tomorrow. And Saturday, if you don't make the top cut, there's going to be a 1v1 side event, full tournament you can participate in and still keep playing the game that you're enjoying and still keep winning cool prizes. And beyond that, say you want to play a little bit on Sunday or you want to play Thursday afternoon, you just want to get some games in with you and 8 friends, you can go ahead and sign up for on-demand pods. And anytime I have table space open, you can show up with 8 or 16 people. We'll set you down and let you play a 2 or 3 round tournament, depending if it's multiplayer or 1v1. and you will get some prizes and walk away pretty happy and having gotten a really fun Vampire Rivals experience.
Awesome.
So the goal is to make sure you can play Vampire whenever you want to during this convention and be winning some cool stuff and just meeting that community.
That's cool.
But that's Rivals.
That's Rivals. So what's going on for role players?
So for role playing, we're partnering with a group called the Wrecking Crew. I think many of you who've attended Gen Con in the past are probably familiar with Dave Martin and the Wrecking Crew. They are making a whole slate of really exciting stories and going to be running in-person games there at Gen Con. We're hoping to do some Roll20 games as well during Gen Con for Gen Con Online.
Right.
We are absolutely going to be there with a full slate of stuff going on at the actual show. So those are going to be up when Gen Con event registration opens in a few weeks. You'll be able to sign up and get in there and play. But I've been reading their synopses and blurbs, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're awesome, and yeah, so all new stories. They're working hard. They're busy getting all their stuff together. We're scrambling like crazy to get everything together. Gen Con moved. The world's
It's
a mess,
100 days
blah, blah,
away,
blah.
but that's still
It's
frighteningly
100
close.
days. Yeah, and also, and we'll have a booth. Come visit the booth. We'll have a role-playing section, board games, card games, all that sort of stuff. Just come by and say hi. We'd love to meet you. Introduce yourself. Elisa will be there. Matt will be there. I'll be there. Sarah will be there if she hasn't, her blood pressure hasn't killed her by now, because we spoil all the things. And a lot of other people on the Renegade team will be there. So, stop by, say hi. If you're not in the Indianapolis area or you're not attending Gen Con, we will be participating in Gen Con Online, correct, Matt?
We are doing some things for Gen Con Online. I mean, RPGs is the main thing we're hoping to do. People asking about Rivals and Prince of the City. Prince of the City is going to be an in-person event. We don't have a online platform or the ability to make an online platform currently that can support something like that. And this is going to be your premier in-person experience. But we will have demos available if you want to learn Rivals, things like that, definitely during Gen Con Online.
Cool. All right, Gen Con Online, and then pop-up Gen Con's going on as well. Gen Con has lots of plans. We'll kind of leave it to them to release those, but we will be participating in pop-up as well. So,
indeed,
that's a lot of stuff. We have
that's
lots
Gen
of cool,
Con. Join
lots
us.
of cool stuff. That's Gen Con. We are also going to have programs to support regional conventions. Elisa will be a guest at GameholeCon this fall.
I sure will. I will be both running games and playing games. This one I'm not allowed to announce, but I will be playing Vampire with some really cool people that will be streamed from GameholeCon, so everybody at home can watch it. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. But if you are in the area and you can visit GameholeCon, I highly recommend it. If you ever see me at Gen Con or there at GameholeCon, PAX Unplugged, or wherever, please come say hi, talk about Vampire with me. I will love it. So yeah, we're definitely going to be supporting all the smaller, well, not all the smaller conventions, but a lot of the smaller conventions as well. So a trip to Gen Con is a big one. If you can make it, that's great though, because we're going to have some fun stuff there.
Yeah,
I did see a question in the chat talking about cons outside the U.S. and stuff. I can say, so for Prince of the City, this year it's going to be Gen Con and PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia. But into next year and beyond, we do want to open up to more conventions. So if you have a suggestion for a convention or a venue overseas, or even in other parts of the U.S. that aren't the East Coast or Midwest, feel free to reach out to me and open a dialogue about that, because I would like to make sure that events like that are accessible to people all over the world. So
yeah. Don't worry.
Same thing with
players.
the RPG stuff.
Same thing I said before. I've run events in Berlin and Utrecht and Prague and the UK and Asia. We're going to make the rounds. We'll make sure that if you want to play games with us, that you'll get to play. And then, like what Elisa was saying, for smaller, like regional conventions, we are working on a program that will support those as well. So tournament organizers, role-playing game organizers at those events, we are working on content that will be available to you, that will allow players in those communities to have something special. And then eventually that content will filter into other stuff. But stay tuned. We're not ready. We can't tell you everything all at once. We have to save something for later. We're going to do this again. I'm telling them a lot, but oh no, it's nothing. Nothing compared to what we have in store. So before we wrap this up, I want to hear from both of you. We have lots of other content this weekend, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Elisa, what are you looking forward to for the rest of this weekend? What should people tune into this weekend? What's a must see?
Well, Scott, of course they need to must see everything. No, I am going to be tuning into everything because it's, it's so exciting, and I'm really excited about a lot of things, but I'll focus on a couple of really big ones for me. First of all, coming up next, we have trivia, and they will be showing off the Roll20 stuff. We mentioned that before. But tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific time, we have the brand new Vampire the Masquerade actual play show, The Nightlife. It is starring storyteller Diana D'Amico. It has Nora Ibrahim, Cynthia Marie, Jennifer Kretschmer, Gabe Hicks. This cast is phenomenal. I am so excited to watch. This is going to be a story that takes place on the hot summer streets of Miami. This is unlike any other actual play for vampire that you've probably seen. While it's still obviously vampire, we can throw out all the gothy vibes and bring in, the Miami scene. And I am really excited to watch. Yeah, it's spicy. So that's tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Again, tomorrow we talked about it. I will be sitting down with Justin Achille from Paradox at 1 o'clock Pacific time. We will be talking about the Book of Nod, how to use it at your table, the differences between the printed book and what we can do with the artifact edition, and also how to use it alongside the Sabbat, the Black Hand book, how they go hand in hand and hand in hand. I just caught that. Sorry. Hand in Black Hand. All right, I'm a dork, sorry. And how we'll be able to use that in our stories. So that's going to be really cool. Then at 5 p.m. tomorrow, I will be sitting down with Kat Evans and Khaldun Khalil. They are two of our writers for Second Inquisition, but we're going to be talking about writing for vampire in general. We will be diving into Second Inquisition quite a bit, but just in general, for all of you out there who are aspiring Vampire the Masquerade or World of Darkness writers in general, basically what their process is, and how to get into it, and their feelings about everything, writing for World of Darkness and being part of the World of Darkness family. And so that will happen at 5 tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then we have after that an LA by Night special. And that is happening, that's right after, right at 6:30, is that correct? At 6:30. And I hope these names are correct, because I'm going to say that it's going to be with Alex Ward, Josephine McAdam, and Cynthia Marie, and Nora Abraham, all coming on to talk about LA by Night. So all of your favorites coming back, and that will be super exciting, little reunion. And that's the stuff. I mean, I'm really interested in the rival stuff too, but I'm going to let Matt talk about that a little bit. But that's what's coming up this weekend. And, before I throw it back over to Matt, I want to make sure that everybody who wants to be involved in part of the discussion after this chat is over, please, on Facebook, come join the Renegade Role Players Facebook page. We have open conversations there. We love to hear your ideas. We share news there all the time. You'll get sneak peeks at things. So over on Facebook, join Renegade Role Players. And then also don't forget, if you are not already on the World of Darkness Discord channel, hop over to Discord. That is all of World of Darkness. So it has vast amount of information for you, whether you have questions about gameplay or you have a really cool idea for a story, anything you want to talk about with other people, you can hop over there. You can just go to Discord and type in World of Darkness, but the vanity shortcut is discord.gg/World of Darkness. So make sure to participate over there, and I'll see you all over there.
Nice. All right, Matt.
Yes, sir.
What should we tune in for?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming you guys are all here because you want to see more of me and probably the other Matt as well. So highly recommend the Rivals panel tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. We're going to dig deeper into Blood and Alchemy, talking more about what makes Tremere and the Thin Bloods cool and what the possibilities are for that box. We're going to talk more about Gen Con. We're going to maybe tease some of these prizes, and maybe more. You won't know until you're there. It'll be after Sarah goes to bed, so we can really do whatever we want. Then right after that, stick around. If you're an LA by Night fan, you've probably heard of Annabelle. We are going to go ahead and do a character to card workshop with Matt Hyra again to create a card for Annabelle. Last Renegade Con, we did this for Victor Temple. Super fun panel. We take a lot of suggestions from the audience. We poll the audience to get your guys' input on stats and blood potency, abilities, all sorts of stuff like that. And when we finish that panel, we will have a card for Annabelle in Rivals that can go to playtesting and then show up in the game at some point in the future. So the more of you that tune in for that, the more fun that panel is, and the more cool ideas we can shoot down because it's going to break the game. But that's fine. It's a lot of fun to discuss them and see Hyra's reactions to the suggestions. So definitely join him for those. If you haven't already pre-ordered Blood and Alchemy, head to vampirecardgame.com/pre-order. It'll take you right to the CrowdOx. You can get the 2 alt art promos for Sonia and Jacob. And you can also get the original promos from the original Kickstarter if indeed you missed that Kickstarter. And lastly, we've got our own Discord for Rivals. So head to vampirecardgame.com/Discord. Get in on the discussion there. People are building their decks, asking for advice, rules questions. You get quick answers there from experienced players. It's a great resource. So highly recommend it. And you can always hit me up if you have questions in Discord as well.
Wow. All right. Okay, everybody. That was a lot of stuff. Hopefully we answered a lot of your questions. Hopefully you're excited about all the new things coming out. There's more to come. Definitely tune in for some of those panels if you're interested in more of a deep dive, be able to ask more questions, get answers, maybe some answers, maybe some more spoilers. I don't know. We're not monitoring these panels. You never know what they'll say. It might slip out of their mouths. It's all good. But thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. We're very excited to be part of the Vampire the Masquerade world, part of the world of darkness, and to be working with Paradox, right? So far, it's been absolutely a phenomenal experience the last year and a half that we've been involved in various different ways. We have a lot planned. We're going to keep pushing the envelope. We want to make you happy. We want to be happy and have fun together and get to play games together. So be sure to tune in. But before we leave, one last thing, we're going to watch, just in case you haven't seen it yet, the Vampire the Masquerade, the Nightlife trailer. That is premiering, once again, we'll say it, premiering tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific time. New episodes after that will then always be on Wednesday nights. We have a special stream on Wednesdays on our Twitch channel. It's Vampire Wednesdays for both Rivals and now for the role-playing game. And we'll have lots of other content planned for the future. But you can tune in starting next Wednesday for the second episode of The Nightlife. So watch the first one tonight, tune in next week. If you happen not to make it, we understand time zones suck. People live everywhere around the world. Don't worry, we'll be showing recordings later. We'll have them for on demand, and we'll have them on our YouTube channel, so you won't miss out. We'll take care of you. Tune into Discord and all that, but I think without further ado, let's watch the trailer and the Nightlife. And thank you once again for joining us, and we'll see more of you this weekend.